I see a black man and one man, I think of strength, black empowerment we have within, building community development. Let's continue to build our own. Let's continue to stay strong. Motivation, no matter the hate, no stopping. You just go. Listen up to Quan, John, and Queen P for giving us a voice. Speak up for what's yours and yell and make that noise. We are kings and we are queens. Melanated royalty, just getting started. Loving self, self and knowledge. Stack that wealth. Motivational motors, y'all.
On your mark, get set back. Still paying y'all debt back. I know who I am and fuck Uncle Sam, and this is my land fact. Check that. Got your tax check back. Couple racks can't buy that back. Hey, please understand, you pay tax on land that was built off grandpa's back. Damn all that.
What the hell did you say to me, boy?
I ain't saying nothing.
You wanna say something to me now, don't you? Tell me what you feel, fat ass!
I just don't feel nothing.
Just like I thought, nigga. Something in your eyes tell me otherwise. Now get your black ass out of my face and back to work!
So I take off these shoes and loosen this noose. We went to your schools, we play by your rules. You covered the truth, got us confused. That's why we act like we don't know what to do. Don't know what we did. Ancestors dropping me clues like, girl, do you know who you is? Know you a star. Girl, do you know you the sun? Third eye open, better run. If my God was a bronze man, Mr. White Man, how you so much better than? Why you pumping us with medicine, robbing us of melanin? Maybe you would be in Neverland. My God was a bronze man, Mr. White Man, how you so much better than? Why you robbing us of melanin, pumping us with medicine? Maybe you would be in Neverland.
What goes on in the plantation house right now?
Well, what goes on is basically you have, you got a lot of structures, the big house and some of the slave cabins, all of that stuff is still up. So it's still a business.
Right.
Funny how it seems.
So it's like a museum now or something?
Basically that's what it is, but it's still a business, so you actually have some that actually charges to actually visit these particular places, and they have these people that works there and give out hourly tours.
Gotcha.
People that once stayed there and things that happened hundreds of years ago right there on this actual land.
So I wonder, does the city get the money or the family or the descendants of the people who owned it?
It goes back to the city.
That's right. I know the descendants don't get it.
It's city owned.
That's right.
Yeah, it's city owned.
Right.
So we began shooting there for about a year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And with that camera, and the pandemic hit.
Right. That's what I was going to ask about. I know you had some bumps and bruises, and that's a monumental bump.
Yeah, most definitely. So we actually had to shut down. We had to shut down due to it was, the city had to close all historic parks in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
State of North Carolina. So, speaking with the director who works there was just letting me know they didn't know when I can go back and shoot. So she told me it can be weeks, months, it can be a year.
Yeah, that's right.
So
how long was it?
It didn't open back until a year.
A year.
Yeah, they didn't open back.
How far in the process of the movie had you gotten?
I got probably in the middle of close to the middle of the film.
Close to the middle. So you had a whole nother half of the movie to complete.
Yeah, most definitely.
Gotcha. Wow.
Most definitely. So,
and I give kudos for that, because on the real, you're a new filmmaker, and this was this was a vision that you had, and you could have given up, but you didn't.
Oh yeah,
easily you could have given up.
Very easy, man. Very.
What
easy.
allowed you not to give up?
Man, it was. I think it was maybe a month went by, probably 2 months. 2 months went by. I said, man, I got got to do something. So, not that, after she told me what she told me 2 months ago, I'm with my producers and I'm like, man, we got to definitely do something. So my assistant had a place in mind that was maybe about 15 miles apart from the actual location, where there's another plantation, believe it or not.
Another plantation.
And
wow.
Another plantation. I want to say about 15, 20 miles apart.
Okay.
And she reached out to them because she knew them personally, to the president that ran that particular plantation. And this wasn't city owned. And they can create their own rules. It won't city owned. So she reached out to him, make the whole story short. I got a chance of speaking with the president and sharing them my vision. And he asked me, when can I start?
Wow.
Really?
He was
I had to make a
that.
very tough decision. If I decide to go here at the second location that this guy's allowing me to come at, I have to start completely over.
Right, you have to scrap the other joint. That's, because you can't have two different, spots.
So after thinking, it took weeks,
of course.
Just thinking about it.
That's an important decision.
Within those weeks, I ended up purchasing another camera. Pretty much a newer model of the camera that I do have.
Right.
So I ended up purchasing a new camera. And from there, man, it was a no-brainer. I said, let's shoot this all over.
All over.
We shot it all over at this second plantation.
Now,
and with this second plantation, it gave us a little bit more. It was universal. They understood the vision, and they gave us more room to be able to play.
More leverage. Yep.
We can do more leverage.
Yep. More freedom.
A lot more freedom. There were certain things that we couldn't do at the other, the plantation. We couldn't touch certain things. We couldn't. We had people watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As we were still up in. Yeah. So, that one, throughout that year in the process, it was a bit, it was a bit mind-boggling. But when this one came there, I began to kind of put two to two together and things that it was offering, and got the camera. It wasn't no brainer. I chose to do the whole thing over. So we scrapped everything that we shot and we started completely over. So it took 9 months to get in there, knock it out. 10 months.
10 months.
And
Check it. When I looked at the trailer, man, and I'm looking at it as if I were an up and coming filmmaker, not even up and coming, someone that has that vision that hasn't put it out there yet. The first thing I would say to myself, Cuzzo, is how am I going to find the actors and how am I going to pay them? So that's what I need to know from you, my brother, because I know somebody watching that's asking themselves, yo, I got the vision, but how the hell am I going to get the people that's going to play it?
Right. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And how the hell am I going to pay them? So what's up?
Yeah. Man, to be honest with you, this film had no budget at all. $0 budget. At all. So
you like looking at it, you would never know that, man. You know that?
Yeah,
the quality looks amazing.
The quality is crazy, fantastic. And the passion behind the actors.
Right. Yeah.
And actresses, sorry.
We didn't have a budget, man. I went in there with a direct vision and what I wanted. And I did have an audition. I had the audition in 2019 before we even start shooting at the whole location. And few people, basically that was selected from the audition, got put on to what role that we found fit for them. The remaining of those came out of woodworks, to be honest with you. It was all because of the way that it was advertised, that it was a film done in North Carolina, especially in this area, because people don't see too much of films or any filmmaking is being done in this area. This is not the hub for it. This is not Atlanta. So people was excited. So they began to start reaching out. How can I become part of this film? Or how can I get into this? How can I do this? So It became very overwhelmed because I had so many people reaching out. The crazy thing is, maybe out of the cast, I have 39, 40 people that's in this cast.
Okay.
And out of those 40, maybe one come out of my own city. Everyone else is from outside of the cities and states. Some's coming from Huntsville, Alabama. I have one by, she has a long resume. She's 9 years old, out of Brooklyn, New York. Yana Buttons. She's played in Godfather of Harlem. She played in TBS show with what was my man name? Tracy Morgan. I forgot the show. But she has a long resume.
Right.
And the reason why I came in contact with her, because they moved here in Jacksonville trying to run away from the pandemic from New York of how bad.
Yeah.
So while her mother was at
her
sister house, she came across my ad and said that we was going to be here for a while. How can I get my daughter to be a part of it? So that's how that happened, man. So everything was like a universal, like universal connection, man. When it was put out, man, it was like, people began to start coming, man. I did have challenges though. I think I feel like my challenge was like, man, I'm going to get these white people involved, right?
That's right. Another challenge. I'm going to get these white people involved. Absolutely. Because you need the white people.
Be the massa.
Right.
How would I get them involved? How did you get them involved?
Man, in the beginning, because we really didn't have any, we didn't have any white actors, we had one, I'm mistaken. Yeah, we had one, but I needed a few more to fill roles, and we haven't got to that part in the film at the whole location where I needed them. So it wasn't a big thing right then and there, because I was right now working, shooting basically the Jones family that lived out there in the field. So I wasn't in the big house yet, and that wasn't my focus. But I knew I had to come across, after I'm done with that shooting, I need some, I need these white people to fill these roles. So
that's right.
I don't know how it happened, man. It was right after we got out there to the second location, things began to kind of fall into place like dominoes. And it was one call after the next. Some people was reaching through me through the IMDb movie database and seen the film, and they seen the film advertised up there.
Right.
Someone was reaching to me, most of them came out of Wilmington, North Carolina, that has where Gem Studios is. A lot of the movies Gem Studios do, Jason and what other films. They done films, they done quite a few films. There's a lot of films. Gem Studios, there's one in Atlanta. I want to say one in New York or LA, but it's a big studio out there, man. And that's the closest one here in where I'm at in this area. But a lot of the actors and actresses came out of Wilmington area, after finding out what I was doing, man. We began to put radio ads and little interviews doing with the daily papers, man, and a lot of them was finding out about that. So they was reaching out to me from there, man, and it became that it was too many.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it was too many. So I ended up putting some where that see fit into their roles, man, and that was it. I had a full complete cast, man. Awesome. And these people, they coming from miles, like I said, some play in Wilmington, High Point, New York, Alabama, all around.
So a lot of them had the Southern background where they didn't have to put on the Southern accent. They had it naturally.
Well, some of them, I mean, like my girl Yana Button, she's from New York. So that she
so she had the, and she's 9?
Well, she's 9 years old with a resume long, man. Very, very long. Yes.
And she effectively put on the accent without any glitches. Like she know how to
Without any, yeah, without
Wow.
any glitches,
Woo.
man. Yeah,
This is
yeah,
starting to making right here, brother. I'm trying
yeah,
to
man.
tell you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
no,
boss.
tell us. I mean, I've seen the trailer, but for those who haven't seen the trailer yet, just tell us what the movie's about. Like, give us a
Well,
synopsis.
the film is basically about a family who lives in Harpersville, North Carolina, 1863. And within this family there's a young girl by the age 14. Her name is Sarah Jones. And just like, Harriet and a lot of your great leaders, she has this dream of one day living outside of Harpersville. All she's seen was Harpersville. And one day seeing her family freedom. And she basically, without telling you so much, she basically was willing to take on this risk. And retrieving this particular item that was supposedly actually help her reach freedom, so she has to convince to her family. She has 5 brothers, 1 mother. I have to convince to them of, going with me. It was very hard because her brothers and her mother understood, the consequences that if they fail, and how, how it can be, danger for all of them,
Right. Absolutely.
So, she continued to kind of push and push and push throughout the scenes until she ended up convincing to them. And Sarah, basically, she's like, she's an out of box thinker, and she don't care about the risk. You know what I mean?
Take that risk.
She was willing to take the risk to reach her freedom and reach something outside of herself that she always dreamed of. So she ends up getting this particular item, and this item actually is supposed to be the map to where they needs to go. So instead of actually wanting to give the audience an actual location, you had Harriet that basically took runaways, came back to her home and came back for a few of her family and others, and basically took the risk of taking runaways from the south to the north. She done that for many years, where she would take them to places like Philly, places all the way up in Maine, some in Canada, and she done that for many years. So instead of doing that, because we know that story, I wanted to create a place, wanted to create an imaginary place that Hollywood do all the time. So
Absolutely.
I wanted to create a magical place called the Land of Rieger, where they basically get to. Land of Rieger, if you look that up now, it's called it means black soil. So pretty much I just kind of put my emphasis to it, and I allow just the universe just to kind of work with me with this particular place. So this place is basically a place with people that look just like you and I, that is governed. The land is governed by people that look just like you and I. So when this family gets there and looks upon this land there, they see people of all generations. So when you talk about the people, of the civil rights movement, or the Black Panther Party for self-defense, or if you're talking about the Garvey movement, these people see that. And in a bit, they're a bit of kind of afraid and scared, because even though these people they don't look like us, we're in the setting of 1863, and they see these people that, they never seen before. Nevertheless, they don't see a white man in sight.
Right.
But
this is heaven they see. This is heaven, my brother.
Yeah, they don't know what they see. It's not where they come from, But when they get to this particular place called the Land of Rieger, without telling you too much, this place, basically, the people that's on this land was waiting for their arrival, meaning that this particular family here, it was already ordained for them to be there. It was their fate. This is their land. This is their people. not only that, when they get on this particular land, and when they step foot on this land, everything is given back to them. Their language, their culture, who they are,
everything. Right.
Everything is given back to them. Things that were stripped away from them was given back to them.
That's right.
And that's when they come into their own. So the whole time you actually have the lead actress, the 14-year-old girl named Sarah. Her name really ain't Sarah. That was a name that the master gave to her. Right? Her name is Amina. I got the name from Amina from the South Africa. She was a warrior. Her name was Amina in the 15th century. And her name is Amina, and she's the queen of the land of Riga. And the people was there to actually sit her back on her throne.
It's not your ordinary slave film. I get that a lot. Oh man, we don't want to hear about the slave film no more. We know what happened there. And I totally understand that. I understand the frustration. But what we also have to be able to understand is what our ancestors had to go through. 400 plus years, and still now, 2021, we still go through that same environment of slave mentality. How do we break it? We detach ourselves from those situations. And we got to be able to understand and realize the power that we have. There's nothing that's outside of you to make you you. A lot of times we want to be able to attach money. We want to be able to attach the hottest rides we got out there. The girls on our own. Things that we see out there on the videos, the music videos. But those things doesn't make who we are. The true definition and understanding who we are, we have to be able to pull out. Because God has given each and one of you guys what you need to be able to produce. Right? We have to be able to produce that. Produce greatness. Produce kings and queens. Right? We call each other niggas. And I got to go back on that. Niggas, the real true meaning of niggas, N-E-G-U-S, mean royal king.